Right, well, Oddworld has been releasing so much stuff lately, and I've just sort of been posting my initial reactions to it, but now I've been looking more at it, I've begun to sort of piece things together and reveal a lot more of the story. So firstly, in one of my previous videos, only after I began uploading the video did I notice that the shaman is so clearly holding like a voodoo doll of a Gluckon. It appears to be Moloch to me. I think it is because he's wearing purple, and purple is pretty much a standard Gluckon colour, so it could be any Gluckon, but I'd like to think it's Moloch. If I had to guess, I'd say it's like 75% chance it's Moloch. I'd guess so. Could maybe it's not. Which I wonder, like voodoo dolls, they're sort of designed to like, it's not possess people, is it? But it's like you can control them or something like that. So I wonder if it's got something to do with possession, and that's why he's holding it or something. Or maybe he's just putting on a puppet show for Abe, I don't know. Anyway, so I just thought I'd mention that. I have no idea how I completely missed that when I was blatantly looking at it, saying, oh, what's he holding? I can't tell what he's holding. Here's a quick thing to note. So of course I mentioned that the newscaster Slig is seen in one of the images, but to me it definitely looks like it's stock footage from Abe Sixtus. That being said, it is possible a newscaster Slig will be in Soulstorm as like a new entity. I hope so anyway, because he's such a good character. Even if he isn't, it's a nice reference to have him in the background, just like on a TV screen or whatever. But what I did want to point out was that on the TV screen he's very clearly like how he is in Abe Sixtus, whereas footage was created for Munch's Odyssey of the newscaster Slig, and he looks different. He has this like pole thing where he's stuck in the ground while he's presenting the news, like instead of having his legs or whatever. So it is interesting that if he is in Soulstorm as a new entity, he'll be more back to like his original form. Either way, it's good that he's back, even if it is just stock footage. In fact, I just had a look, I just checked, and I found the exact frame that newscaster Slig from Soulstorm has been taken from. It appears to be from about the 35th frame of the first ever Slig news, Magog on the March news, which is a shame because that basically proves that it's just stock footage that's in the background. So this isn't a confirmation that he'll actually be newly in Soulstorm, because I would imagine if they were going to put him in the background, they'd have used a new version of him if they have got him somewhere. So yeah, I'm pretty certain this is just stock footage, which is a shame because it suggests that he's not in it in a bigger capacity, but still at least it's a nice reference, even if he isn't in it properly. At least he's in it in spirit. The next thing I'd like to point out, I haven't played Abe's Odyssey and Abe Sixtus from beginning to end for a few years now, so like it's not in my mind properly, and as a result when I was watching his trailers, for some reason I still imagined Abe still had his hand scars and his chest scar already, and I'd forgotten that New and Tasty is when he gets his hand scars, and I forgot that he didn't already have the chest scar at the start of Soulstorm. So I got confused previously, but now that I realised that, it's so much more clearer to me what's going on now. So obviously in Abe Sixtus he gets the healing power, doesn't he? That's what the chest scar is, so could be that in Soulstorm, but either way, even if it's not, he's clearly in this scene when he's putting his hands on the machine and the lightning zaps him and he gets his scar, he's clearly getting a new power. Interestingly, it's not with the three weirdos who give him the power. I'm guessing it's going to be the shaman, because the shaman is the bee guy, the head of the beehive tribe, and this scene where Abe's getting the power appears to be in the middle of the beehive tribe area. I hope the paramites and scrabs are still in it, by the way. There's been no mention of them, and like they're sort of fundamental to whenever he's gotten a power in the past. It's always been, oh, he's done the scrab bit and then he's done the paramite bit and then he gets the power. I could imagine, after all, considering that Lorne wants Soulstorm to be original, and considering Abe Sixtus was sort of done in a rush, so reused assets from Abe's Odyssey, and ultimately I think that's almost like why the story is sort of a rehash of Odyssey. You know, you do a scrab area, you do a paramite area, and then you get the power. Lorne wants Soulstorm to be original and maybe isn't putting the scrabs and paramites in the same capacity, maybe not at all, in Oddworld Soulstorm, which I personally think would be a shame, but I could imagine him doing that. And instead, I guess maybe he's replacing it with like a bee area where the main enemy is the bees, maybe? It's an interesting thought anyway. So I wonder if the bee area, this whole sort of thing, is replacing the scrabs and paramites. I certainly hope not. I like the scrabs and paramites, especially like paramites for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, so basically clearly this is when Abe, he's probably done a trial and he's getting his power, potentially a healing power like it is in Abe's Exodus, to heal perhaps the Mudokons that was seen earlier in the trailer, drinking the Soulstorm Brew, they appear kind of drunk to me anyway. Then again, Soulstorm Brew is an energy drink in Soulstorm, so they wouldn't get drunk, but they'd get, like, dazed or whatever it is. I don't know what, you know what happens if you drink too much energy drink, like, you get sort of funny in the head, I think. Anyway, but here's the interesting thing. I said in one of my previous videos about this scene where Abe's about to cut the stitch. I almost said scar again. I said in my previous video that I don't think he does it, and I have evidence now, and now I'm very, very sure he doesn't do it. Firstly, I just thought he didn't because it seems out of character to me, and also he is a part of it, who he is, isn't it? Stitch Lips, you know, that's who he is. He's sort of known for that.
So back off, Stitch Lips!
I don't think it would work as well if he did cut his stitches. But now I actually have evidence to suggest that he doesn't cut his stitches. It's not just me theorising or whatever, or saying how I feel. And that's because in this scene when Abe's about to cut his stitches, he doesn't have his chest scar. But in the scene when the lightning strikes him and he gets his chest scar, his stitches are still completely intact. So that suggests that he doesn't cut his stitches like I thought. So I think that's quite a good indication of the story anyway. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what's been shown. Now the last thing I want to talk about, the scenes with the Mudokon who appears to be Toby, or resembles Toby, who appears to be dead. I've been going back and forth as to whether it is Toby or not, and now I don't think it is Toby, which is unfortunate because everyone wants to see Toby die. The reason I don't think it is Toby, I think it's just, maybe it's his brother. It's just, I think it just looks like him. Because although he's wearing pretty much exactly the same clothes as him, the only difference really being he's got his hat forwards instead of backwards. The symbols on this dead Mudokon clearly indicate he's a Necrominer, whereas the symbols on Toby's costume indicates that he's a Rupture Farms worker. So that suggests to me that Toby is with Abe at the start of the game, and he's one of the 300 Mudokons Abe freed from New and Tasty that he starts off with in Soulstorm. Of course, again, I could be wrong. It does really look like Toby. It looks a lot like Toby. So maybe they, I mean, it was only like a patch, isn't it? So maybe they could have changed the patches around to a Necrom one instead of a Rupture Farms one in order to get into Necrom Mines or something. It's possible, I don't know. I also think there's a possibility that this Mudokon is one that's suffering from the after effects of drinking the Soulstorm brew. In the original game it was, you know, they'd get drunk and whatever, but in this game, because it's an energy drink, I think they get like, it sickens them sort of thing. And that's why he looks like he's basically dead or sickly. I think he might be a Mudokon that's drank so much of it that it's made him so ill. And this is sort of maybe the moment in the game when Abe sees the effects of Soulstorm brew and he's like, oh, that's bad. We'll just have to wait and see what happens in Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hello, follow me.